from what I've seen, and I watched it, they weren't, like I said, it wasn't as bad as the riots of 2020 with them George Floyd riots, and that was terrible. And then regardless of why they was there, maybe to stop the count, stop the steal of the election, most of them were peaceful. A few of them were rowdy, breaking windows, fighting with police, mainly taking selfies or just going in, and they was going inside the chambers, just sitting around, just chilling, just having a good time. And then an unarmed woman gets shot in the neck.
Well, she tried to storm into where the politicians were. That's why they shot her.
She was less than 50 feet away from the vice president while armed protesters were trying to break through the I'm speaking, wait, I'm speaking. And that Ashley, whatever, that f***ing
Let's not speak that way about the dead. But
fuck her, she's dead, she deserved to she should have gotten shot in the face.
I don't agree, but go ahead.
She had one leg inside the door after she broke the window, less than 50 feet from the vice president of the United States, who they were going after.
The vice president wasn't in that room.
Shot them all. They should have fucking opened fire on those cocksuckers. All of them. Dead, white, angry people. That's what we should have had at the Capitol that day. Dead, white, angry people.
Let me get back to what you originally talked about. Let me get back to what you originally talked about. You know, everyone asks us, whose side are you on? I think they're all corrupt. Trump, Harris, they're all taking money. It's an arms race. Who could raise the most money from corrupt billionaires? If you saw the RNC, the DNCs, the boxes are all donors, big dollar donors. And Trump, pretty much, I mean, he made the CEO of ExxonMobil his Secretary of State. Harris, I mean, she has backtracked and flip-flopped on a lot of her positions. What is your top reason for whomever you're supporting, and who is that?
So my top reason, I'm gonna support Donald Trump, and the reason why is he was already in office. The economy was doing way better under his administration than under Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris, she just doesn't do nothing from what I've seen, and she was put in charge of the border. She doesn't do nothing. She deflects, and she just comes off as an extremely manipulative person. They say her record in office as a prosecutor, and I said she was a corrupt prosecutor. I mean, who locks up an innocent person and keeps them in jail, withhold evidence, and then make sure they get executed. The courts had to force her to bring forth the evidence. See, me, I was wrongly accused of a crime before, so I've been through that, so I know how it feels when they're not trying to bring forth, like, to find out if you did it or not. They just want to get their convictions up, and Kamala Harris was a part of that.
I just want to be clear, I'm not a Harris supporter. However, you know Donald Trump with the front page ad calling for the Central Park 5 to be executed.
Yeah,
so if you want to talk about, you know, wrongful convictions and this and that, Donald Trump, when there was literally, I mean, these 5 men were exonerated years later, he called for them to be executed. And there's been other instances where, you know, he's obviously got many criminal cases against him. He has been accused of sexual assault and harassment by multiple women. Yeah. Does that kind of not register for you?
Well, for me, I'm going to tell you about the Central Park 5. Yeah, he said, but here's the thing. He's not a prosecutor like Kamala Harris, and he's not involved in law enforcement. You may say he has some kind of influence, but Kamala Harris, she was a top prosecutor in Los Angeles, locked up people for smoking marijuana, and then come to find out she smoked marijuana herself. She done said it, and it's like, with the whole locking up a man, have him on death row, what Trump said, that they should be executed, but they weren't. That's not different from Kamala Harris showing up to see somebody get executed and withholding evidence that would set them free.
Let me ask you on Trump, because this just came out recently. What is it? Truth Social? He truthed? Not tweeted, he truthed. He wrote, "When I win, those people that," all caps, "cheated will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences, that this depravity of justice does not happen again," talking about the so-called election fraud, which didn't happen. "We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't." A lot of people take that as he's talking about jailing political opponents.
Well, so you might disagree with me, but I'm gonna just say this. Here's how I view what happened back in 2020.
I take it you don't support the storming of the Capitol and all that.
No, I don't, but it wasn't like what they try to make January 6th out to be, it was bad, but it's not as bad as the riots that happened back in 2020. Plus, it wasn't as bad as the riots that happened back in 2020. 2020, I was paying attention. The riots were horrible. Them cities was on fire.
Talking about the George Floyd protest?
Well, riots. Let's call them riots. But yeah,
Cradle of democracy? Are you kidding me?
Well, we don't really have a democracy, but that's neither here.
It's a republic, elected republic.
The theoretic, in theory, the democracy.
What was the other question?
Wait, what he said? The George Floyd riots.
You don't think J6 was bad? Yes or no?
No, I think it was bad, but not as bad as what happened in the summer of 2020. That was horrible. I mean, you got cities on fire.
Literally looking to kill and hurt politicians. Democratically elected politicians. They were looking to hit them and hurt them.
No, they were. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. They were actually talking about hanging the Republican Vice President Mike Pence.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah, talking about it, but did they actually do it? Did they actually go through with it? And my thing is, and who was it? And here.
Bitch tried to break through the window. They shot her in the neck. Let him talk. They shot that bitch ass in the neck.
And here's the thing. Okay, so back to the hanging thing. Okay, so they said they were going to hang. My thing is, the reason why I say January 6th wasn't as bad as they try to hype it up to be, because my thing is, if you're going to take over a Capitol, all them people, if them people wanted to take over that Capitol, they would have did it. All them people didn't want to take over that Capitol. You might have to, people in there going in there taking selfies and all that other type of stuff. And
I ask you a question, real speak?
Go ahead.
If 20 black people or 20 Native Americans stormed the U.S. Capitol, even if they were taking selfies, you think they would have made it out of there alive?
Honestly, I've been around black people my whole life. It depends on the context, what they was doing. I need context, full story, all that stuff. They might not make it out alive, but then again, they might come out alive. Depends on, like I said, context.
I guess what I'm wondering, I agree with you on Kamala's record as a AG, but it seems like that's more relevant to you than Trump's long record of, alleged crimes, can we say? He did gin on his supporters to storm the Capitol to stop the election, to overturn the election. How do you kind of compartmentalize those things?
Here's the thing, though. He said the word peacefully, patriotically, and make your voices heard.
Oh, stop. He was tweeting months before that. Fight. He was telling people at the event before that, go to the Capitol and fight.
Yeah.
You know what he was trying to do.
I guess at this point, but from what I heard, and then like I said, if they really wanted to storm the Capitol, like you had people in the Capitol, you had some people that was rowdy, breaking windows, fighting with security guards. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. It was bad. But I'm not going to...
But my point is, it's not just that they were rowdy. They were there to stop the results of the election. That's an attempt to overthrow the results of the election. You said you don't believe the election was stolen. So this is not about Harris. I don't really think Harris is so great. But my point is, they were storming the Capitol to stop the election results from being certified, not to take selfies. They were there to stop that day. That day, they were certifying the results of the election. That's why they were there, to stop the certification, which would have made Biden president officially.
Hold up. You said that I said that the election wasn't stolen?
No. I said, no, I know you believe that. My point is, they were not there to just take selfies. They were there not just to be rowdy, but they were there to stop the certification of the election.